petulant teenager. He was so much more than that, a master of life and death. "You can't say that," she replied. "Well, I just did." "Don't be flippant with us, son," his father snapped. "The point is, however independent you think you are, you don't know what might happen to you. No one does. A youngster like you out on the streets on your own, you've no idea who might be out there and what they might be after. People get assaulted, and young boys are especially vulnerable." They had been through the argument many times without reaching a resolution, but his parents refused to give up. Forcing a smile, his father said, "Why don't you at least let me come and pick you up when you want to stay out late?" "You're having a laugh. You? Come and pick me up? Not bloody likely. You'd spoil everything." "Well, I could come and meet you somewhere then, if you like. Jesus, you must know you're putting yourself at risk going out on your own at night. You're only 15, and you don't know anything of the world yet. Why don't you at least tell me where you are so I can come and give you a lift home, for your mother's sake if nothing else? You know she worries about you being mugged." "What if one of these muggers you're so worried about attacked you?" He spat the words out. He wasn't laughing now. "You're just as likely to be mugged as me, you know. Now stop pestering me, because I told you nothing's going to happen. Not to me, anyway." He turned away to hang up his coat. "I know what you're trying to do," he resumed, turning back to face them. "It's not going to work. You don't own me. I'm not a child. You can't control me anymore." Seeing his father cower backwards when he lifted his hand to pull off his scarf, he grinned, his good humour restored. "You thought I was going to hit you just then. You did, didn't you? And you think you can scare me. Ha!" He snapped his fingers in the air with a faint click. His mother stepped forward, one hand raised, but he stood his ground, taunting her. "What are you going to do? Hit me? That's why you go on and on and on about something happening to me, because that's what you want, to see me punished. You'd like me to suffer just to prove you were right. Don't talk such nonsense. You know that's not true. Isn't it?" He held out his arm to display a series of scratches. "What's this, then?" His father shook his head in disgust. "You know perfectly well you told us a cat scratched you. Now I'll ask you again, where have you been all this time? Oh, give it a rest, old man. Have you got any idea how stupid you sound, asking the same questions over and over again?" With a flick of his head, he tossed their sour protests aside, and his long fringe spun around his head. He stroked it into place with the flat of his hand, enjoying the feel of its sleek softness. Until he was old enough to do as he pleased, his parents had never allowed him to grow his hair long enough to cover his ears. That was just one of the reasons why he hated them, as though it should be up to them to control his appearance. Now they had lost their authority over him. They were nothing in his eyes, less than nothing. He understood their efforts to confine him were driven by anxiety, but he was different from them. He was fearless. Ordinary people like his parents could have no idea what he was capable of achieving. They didn't know him at all. No one did. They were never going to understand that there was no need to be concerned on his account. They should be worrying about their own safety while he was living under their roof. Chapter 2. "It's so dull around here," Ariadne grumbled. "Not that I'm complaining," she added with a slightly embarrassed laugh, "but you know what I mean." She lowered her eyes as dark and impenetrable as Geraldine's. "I know exactly what you mean," Geraldine said. Neither of them admitted out loud that they had chosen to work in serious crime to avoid sitting behind a desk. Of course no one was pleased to hear that an innocent victim had been killed, but the job could be tedious when they weren't working on a murder case. What made the time pass even more slowly for Geraldine was that she didn't know anyone in York outside of her work colleagues. Her lifestyle had changed significantly over the course of the past year. Demoted from the rank of detective inspector in the London Metropolitan Police Force, she had relocated to York, where she now worked as a detective sergeant. Only her unswerving commitment to her work had sustained her throughout what had been a very difficult year. Now, for a change, her work life had been quiet for a couple of months, allowing her to relax and enjoy exploring the city of York and to get to know her colleagues. To some extent, she and Ariadne had been thrown together as their desks stood opposite one another. Whenever Geraldine